Welcome to aPODcalyptic Times with your host, Travis Spencer.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aliens of all races, this is aPODcalyptic Times. I'd like to thank America for listening, for clicking through Amazon.com, giving us a little extra cash. I especially need it now since the Bigfoot incident, taking out my phone, taking out my camera. I think he's taking out this mic cord right here.
Your mic cable.
Fucking Bigfoot is everywhere. Before we get started, I'd like to send a big fuck you out to Sprint. This is the company I hate this week. Troubles with my phone. We're going to welcome John Derby and David Duarte to the show. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Good.
Excellent.
Beer's cold tonight. I like it.
Well, that beer dagger finally.
Yay, way to go, buddy.
Hey.
Rite Aid got their shit together.
Blame it on Rite Aid.
got it from the cold section.
David, I understand Paper Trails released their EP today.
We did.
Congratulations.
Woo! Ow!
We can actually hear some music.
We have an actual paper trail for Paper Trail.
Well, it's a digital trail.
Digital, right.
You get technical. You release one EP. You're going to get all technical.
So
Well, we haven't got the paper yet. Yeah,
That's fair.
where can we find it?
We can find it on right now for free at noisetrade.com/papertrails/paper-trails.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
For free? Can I donate some
free
money if I want?
Free, or you can leave a tip in the tip jar if you like.
Nice.
So
Help support Paper Trails. Give them a little money. Get some studio time together.
right, and you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/papertrailsofficial. And Twitter at the
Sounds
Paper
official.
Trails.
It does.
Nice. Well, congratulations, man. I'm happy for
Good
you.
job,
Thank
buddy.
Now you got to go ahead and sell that shit.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the shitty thing is now I actually have to listen to it, and because I gave him so much grief.
Next week, I want a full critical analysis from you, John Derby.
I'll do that.
We're going to just do a
Emphasis
2-minute
on the
segment.
critical.
Exactly. Tonight we've got Peter Anthony Ewen and Madelynn Elyse from Polaris Rose. I'm excited about that. It's gonna be a good show. I always love having bands on the show.
Bands are
It's
always
a good show.
Yeah.
Until Paper Trails come on.
Wow. See, I don't even know if this chick exists, the one that he claimed.
I've seen her, but
I think he made her up in some kind of computer program.
I think he rented that
Rented her
chick.
for a night.
Yeah, he just, that chick I met. I've only seen her once.
She's
so-
a robot.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Went to Japan and got her, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
That's
I've been having
congratulations.
problems with the program, so that's why it's taking longer than usual.
It's tough. It's tough to
Yeah.
program.
He even rubs cyborg women the wrong way.
Well, that's amazing. All right, guys, it's time for some news.
Do it.
But I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people.
You guys been listening to what's going on in Egypt? Paying attention?
Yeah.
Very little.
How can you not pay attention? You know that Egypt is one of the earliest civilizations.
If they don't talk about it on Sports Center, how am I going to figure it out?
That's true. They haven't talked one bit about
They
it
have
on
not.
SportsCenter.
during the Confederations Cup, did they talk about all the protests in Brazil at all on SportsCenter? They cover that at all? Not once.
You'd have to ask some ass clown who was watching the Confederation.
No, I'm saying like on SportsCenter. Like
no, there's no way.
They didn't say anything about
That's
it.
the
No.
third rail, my
There's a
man. They don't
fucking-
get into the third rail.
There's a million people in the streets, like, because I saw reports that were saying they were saying if there was like tear gas coming into the stadium, they were going to figure out a way to start to combat that. So they had to cover at least some part of it, right?
I was going to say maybe they touched on it, but it was nothing that I was aware of, nothing that I heard about. But I tend to tune.
They
out
tend
the
to stay
soccer
away from
part.
that kind of stuff. They
Right.
do
really
like
do.
a little of the
They'll do
local,
some
like the
stories.
national stories.
They covered Boston a little bit.
Outside the lines of-
Of,
But I was going to say, but that's because it was tied in with the marathon.
but I mean, it's protest right outside, and it is affecting. You know, there should have been a story there. It's affecting the players and the.
you might catch something like that on like E60 or something. They might do, or like you said, outside the lines.
Look,
They
I
might
don't know
do
if
something
you
like
caught
that.
the final, but the way that Brazil came out and played in that final, you knew that they were impassioned by the people, firing in the streets. And trust me. Oh, you didn't watch that final?
Nope.
What final was that?
Confederations Cup, Spain and Brazil. It's a great game. Brazil was amazing.
What sport is that?
Oh, shut up. I hate you both. Okay, so anyways, in Egypt, the military, it's essentially a military coup. They overthrew the government, and this is a democratically elected government we're gonna play this little video to catch.
Now, is that something
John Derby
that's
up to speed?
Is that something that's done like by the people through the military, or this is independent? The military does this of their own accord because they don't.
Well, the people were protesting like in mass.
Yeah,
it was
like
getting
crazy
pretty,
masses.
there was millions of
and
people,
they were demanding that Morsi step down, and he wouldn't. So the military, which is separate from
Well, they gave
the
an
government.
ultimatum. They gave him like a 48-hour ultimatum, and he pretty much said, "Fuck you."
Yeah, and he said
Now
that it was a military, coup, and it was illegal.
That could not happen here, right? Like we just don't. Our system's not designed that way, right? Like we would be.
At this
it would
point,
be
it
more
could
of an.
not.
But it would have to be more of an impeachment process than
Right.
it would be.
Right. In
Enough
theory.
people gathered, and the military shows up, and you're like, "Sorry, Barack, you got to go."
In theory, but I'm sure, like, you have to also know that the whole reason that we are as powerful as we are is because of our military and the military-industrial complex.
Sure, no, of course.
So if they wanted to, and somebody got a crazy power grab, like, what the hell's the president going to do?
No, nothing.
You know,
Unless it's Jamie Foxx with Channing Tatum.
So we need to go ahead and start rioting in the streets until our favorite general overthrows President Obama, and then everything will be fine.
Yeah, that's never
Then we can
gonna
live in a
happen,
military.
I actually think that's not to say that's cool. I need a better way to express that, but it's like I like the fact that it's like enough people gathered support for this, and the military itself was like, all right, we're going to execute this versus
and it's
being
not like the cool thing about it is it's not like the military. It's not like some crazy general who's like, okay, I'm going to take.
It's
over.
not some rogue general. Yeah.
He's like, all right, we're going to hold this shit down until we can have another election in January.
We'll see
so
what happens.
That's what he's trying to do. Yeah, but we're gonna watch this video now.
A major attack in Egypt, a vital U.S. ally on the brink of civil war. Soldiers reportedly opened fire on protesters, the worst violence since the political crisis erupted. ABC's Alex Marquardt is there.
Marquardt.
Good morning, Paula. It's being called a massacre. The attack happened right here at the Republican Guard headquarters. More than 40 supporters of the ousted President Mohamed Morsi were killed, more than 300 wounded. They say the army attacked them at dawn as they were staging a sit-in, as they've been doing for the last several days. The army says they were attacked by armed terrorists, leaving one soldier dead. This is a massive escalation in the tension here in Egypt. Morsi's party, the Muslim Brotherhood, has called on its supporters to rise up, which means there could be much more violence in the days ahead.
So they're on the brink of civil war.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually far more violent than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I guess I didn't
like
understand.
he got elected. He got elected. So that's 51% of the people who are now like, because mostly the people rioting in the streets and saying, I'm sure a lot of people turned on him after voting for him.
Well, of course.
But still, there's a pretty large minority, minority.
Sure.
That like are like, hey,
The
we
Muslim
elected
Brotherhood.
this guy. Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's like,
And we know like the tactics of extremist Muslims.
right. Well, and that's the whole thing. Is like with the Muslim Brotherhood, they want to take over a lot of the Middle Eastern states and then join together and then have power against people like us and stuff like that. So obviously we like you said before, do we have part in putting this guy in office? No, we had part in
Removing the
uprising,
yeah.
removing the last guy, and then their election brought around the wrong guy. Probably is who we didn't want, or maybe we even thought that we had.
The
him
U.S.
under our
hasn't
thumb.
come out in support of this at all.
No,
I was gonna say we haven't elected the right guy possibly ever, so we're not one to talk.
They already got the
JFK.
Well, they already got their foreign aid from us for this year. So
Yeah, and what do we get? We give them like $3 billion a year
quite
or
a
something
bit,
like that. Something like that.
Now,
That's a lot of money.
Did I hear that correctly? That the people killed were doing a sit-in protest,
Yes,
and
yes.
they were the supporters of the current
of the
leader.
Muslim Brotherhood
Yeah.
and of Mohamed Morsi? Yeah.
Yeesh.
But and then the military said that terrorists attacked them. So it's like
Right, so
Nah,
what
but
really
that
happened?
sounds
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, anytime you attack a non-violent protest like that, I can't imagine there's a reason for that. Like, I understand there's a lot of tension and hostility in those situations, but it's like I can't imagine a sit-in protest that requires the army to come in there and start
There's going to be
assassinating
a
people.
lot more bloodshed.
Yeah,
Right.
that was
Of course,
actually
it's all
far
over.
more violent than I
it's
thought
getting,
that it was.
It's getting fucking crazy is what it's
Absolutely.
getting. It's like we see a civil... And, I mean, Egypt is probably the place where the aliens are going to return.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because they built the Great Pyramid. That thing is...
Say they've already got homes there.
They gotta see what they do is they put their little it's a triangle they put on top of it and it emits a pink light all around, and then you can see true knowledge. But that's where it'll be.
So
So
when
it's
Travis goes to the disco club, that's what he sees.
you heard
True
Major
knowledge.
Lazer playing earlier. That's
Exactly.
That's the music they play.
True knowledge.
scared.
Is that a DJ?
Well, yeah, he spells it a little
They
bit.
put on Major Lazer.
Major Lazer.
Pink lights start swirling around.
Like, do you live in a box? You don't know who Major Lazer is?
No,
Do you know who Major Lazer is?
I don't live in a box, and I don't know.
I live in a one-bedroom
Have you ever
apartment.
heard of Major Lazer?
And Major Lazer does not make an appearance.
Sounds like something I'd see at a gay club, though.
It really does.
Your apartment is a gay club. Get out of my face.
It is, yes.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
You got me.
So they're Brazil.
Your apartment's a gay club.
Yeah, good one. That was my best one ever.
Burn.
Burn! Sit down and shut up. There was a Brazilian soccer referee that was beheaded. Brazil's going nuts. Man.
This story's crazy.
It is.
This video seems awesome
A
already.
soccer referee in Brazil was gruesomely quartered and beheaded after he fatally stabbed a player on the field during the match.
Fucking nuts.
The match took place June 30 at Pius Stadium in Maranhão, northeastern Brazil.
But this dude stabbed a fucking
According
player.
to
Yeah,
the
right.
And killed a
24
player.
Horrors, 30-year-old player, Josnia dos Santos Abreu, approached the 20-year-old referee, Octavio da Silva Catamhid Jordan, to argue a call. The two couldn't come to terms, so Catamhid Jordan told the player to leave the field. Santos Abreu refused, and the argument turned heated when the referee allegedly pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed Santos Abreu multiple times. The player died en route to the hospital.
Jesus.
Fans outraged by the stabbing, believed to be the player's friends and family,
that's
stormed
it.
the
You see
pitch
that?
and cornered
Yeah.
Catamhid Jordan.
There's a picture of his
The
head
mob
on a
showed
stick
no
and
mercy
then
as
him
they
beheaded.
beat and decapitated the referee
And
and
his
then
legs
placed
cut
his
off.
head on
Yeah.
the stake.
Jesus.
A video shows the damage the mob did to Catamhid Jordan, but it is exceptionally graphic. So far, police in Santa Ynez, Maranhão have
horrible.
arrested one man, 27-year-old Luis Moraes Souza.
That's crazy. I mean,
That's
obviously soccer is the greatest sport in the world, but
Yeah, I mean, we'd never do that
But
to Joey
man.
Crawford. I mean, Joey Crawford's terrible. We'd never think about
right.
decapitating
That
him
is-
and quartering him.
Nuts. Nuts. I mean, it wasn't a professional. It was like in an amateur league.
Right.
So it was like there was no control, no.
right.
But still, it's like.
that's like one of those videos you like. Did you ever see the one? I don't remember what it was. Some sort of special about how referees like get attacked and how like that's becoming an increasing trend.
Yeah.
And there was this guy in a semi-pro football game. Semi-pro football player gets a penalty or something. He gets pissed off. He's in the ref's face, takes his helmet off, smashes the ref in the face with his helmet.
So
like, and it's like, I mean, like, changes the guy's entire life. Like, the
Right.
guy can't breathe right. Like, he has headaches, like, every day of his life. And shit. Like, he's
mad
a
about a
mess.
stupid
Had to have
ball.
all sorts of reconstructive surgery on his face. And it's like,
And he got
for
off easy compared to
for
this dude.
semi-pro football? Really?
But this dude fucking
Really?
killed a
Have
fucking
you ever?
player.
I mean,
though.
you
What
played
an
in
idiot.
men's leagues, though. You know how like people get intense. They
I
get
get
so
it.
intense, and
But-
it's almost worse for that. It's almost worse for that than the professionals, because professionals at least like
Yeah.
they can separate it. Be like, okay, this is, and you're gonna get heated and stuff.
Because that's a job for them. That's
Right.
a career for
Right.
them versus other people.
Well,
where it's
and
like,
live
it's
your
pure
whole week-
passion.
And
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
repercussions for a professional.
Right, exactly.
But, like,
exactly.
that-
There's some pecking. There's some sense of order,
Yeah.
you know. Whereas, like, yeah, men's leagues get crazy.
Here's the, you want to punch a hole in a wall. Like, I get that. You want to throw a bench or a chair. Like, I could even understand that. But it's
Right.
like to stab someone or to
nuts.
like, oh my god.
I played in some Mexican soccer leagues, and it's like I never got in a fight, but there
Yeah.
was at least 3 or 4 fights, you know, during the season where you're just pulling people apart and like
That's insane,
you know,
man.
me as the tall white guy just
Yeah,
pull
yeah,
apart.
the peacemaker.
Pulling
Like
people
this.
apart. That's what they did there too.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's pretty twisted. And then
That's
the other
insane.
crazy thing in Brazil that happened is this Brazilian rapper, MC Elyse, he got shot on stage.
Jesus.
This video is pretty crazy. This is not Major League.
What's that?
Not Major League.
Oh, good. Oh yeah, because there's people at this show.
This kind of stuff's happened in the United States, though. Remember Dimebag
Oh, I was
Darrell?
gonna say,
Yeah.
dude from Pantera.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. There's supposedly like 3,000 people in the crowd.
He's gonna actually show him getting shot. Oh, fuck. Holy Jesus.
It's crazy. Fast. You didn't even hear a boom.
You don't hear
you heard
you just heard the pop.
Just a pop, yeah. And then he's like, ah!
Oh, my God.
And the video goes to black. People are losing their minds, man. I mean, but yeah, this happened before. There's been rappers shot on stage in America before, and Dimebag Darrell. So
Dimebag Darrell. Yeah, that's fucking nuts, though, man.
Yeah, just be taken out like that. Not good. Not good.
But they can't take our
Was he like a controversial rapper or something? Or?
No, like everything I read, he didn't really have any enemies. He wasn't. I mean, he said some crazy shit, like he talked shit, but it wasn't.
But dude, if you shot every rapper that talked shit, like I mean, there wouldn't be any rappers,
except for the pink dolphin guy. What's his name? Oh, but he's not even a rapper. Frank Ocean's not even a rapper.
What?
Frank Ocean has that store called the Pink Dolphin.
I got you.
He's like the first. Oh, well,
yeah.
He's kind of into hip hop.
But Chris Brown will still pick a fight with you there.
Yeah. Although I saw a story today, he was handing out shoes to kids and stuff like that.
Who was?
Chris Brown.
Oh, Jesus.
This is an awesome video about Southern Californians and their support for Obama, you fucking idiots.
A signature to support Obama repealing the Bill of Rights, taking things further than the Patriot Act.
This dude's just signing it, not even listening to it.
Is this guy doing this as a joke?
Well, he's doing it to prove a point that these people are idiots.
That they don't know any better?
One, people do this all the time. It's like outside of Trader Joe's.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Minute for gay rights? No, I don't have gay rights. I don't have a minute for anything.
If you conduct your business outside of an actual business, you can go straight to hell. I don't want anything, unless you're a Girl Scout.
So annoying.
With the exception, Girl Scouts are the one exception that I'm like, you set up shop in front of anywhere, and I will patron your business.
What about little kids selling candy bars?
No.
I fucking never buy from them.
No.
New World Order.
Just Girl Scouts.
Just Girl Scouts. I was very clear on that.
I like those chocolates, though, like the Little League chocolates.
Repealing the Bill of Rights.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'll get that from someone at work.
This people are so stupid.
There was an early episode of The Man Show, if you remember that, with Kimmel and Carolla, where they had they were getting people to sign. They're like, could you sign this to stop women's suffrage?
Right.
And people didn't realize that meant their right to vote. And so people are like, oh, well, women shouldn't have suffrage. We should definitely take care of that.
And that's kind of what this is, too, because he says repeal, and I think people get confused by repeal the Bill of Rights. I guess.
How can you get confused by repeal the Bill of Rights?
But you look at they're like...
Because they're not listening. They hear something that they think is pro-Obama, and they're automatically like, oh, okay, I'm pro-Obama, I'll do whatever they want.
They look at it, and they're just like, they're like, become zombies. They're just like, they're not even like listening. They're just...
That's why whenever you leave Trader Joe's, you gotta have both hands full.
Oh, man.
No, pretend to be on the phone.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I try to get my earphones in before I walk out.
Yeah.
I say no.
I'll hold that phone right up to my ear.
Sorry, bro. Busy.
How passive-aggressive is that?
It's awesome. Everyone feels good.
Like that is the worst. Whole Foods is even worse than Trader Joe's, because Whole Foods it's like literally every time you
Ralph's
walk in
is the same, dude. There's always some asshole
put
in a
up
blue
Ralph's
or
now,
a yellow.
too?
Oh, it's crazy. It's always some a-hole in a blue or yellow shirt with a clipboard, and I'm like, go away.
Is it always for gay rights or is it for other things?
No, it's always for different shit. It doesn't matter. It's always
gay
for
rights
something.
is probably like 60% of it, though.
I'm always like, I already signed that one, bro.
I'm like,
yeah.
You guys excited about Dog TV?
Hell yeah!
This is a pure sign of the apocalypse. There's a show or a channel now on DirecTV specifically made for dogs.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Why is that? What's the big deal?
This is the Relaxation Dog Network.
Because do you know how many people like leave on a TV or a radio for their dog while they're gone? It's like, why not have an actual thing that maybe dogs like? I don't know.
Yeah, but they're gonna see other dogs on TV and just start barking at it.
What kind of dogs do you have? Why don't you train
really
your dog?
Insecure dogs.
Where my dogs at?
Chihuahuas.
I just think it's relaxing. I don't think it's for dogs at all. It's for people like me.
I'm like, I want to watch. There's a bunch of little buddies sitting there. Look at that guy. Hey, buddy.
What the hell is this fucking Ray doing?
Hey, man. Dogs need to see the ocean, too.
There's a stingray.
Oh, look at that. Little buddy.
I want cat TV.
Oh,
give me cat TV.
Cat TV would be a cat with its back to you the whole time.
No, I want them killing things.
Oh, Jesus.
I love cats. Like, Lou, my little cat Lou was hunting a fly today. I got so much enjoyment out of it. He's like, how you can jump in the air, like turn and do a 360 and land, and he got like 2 flies. Dude's amazing.
That's pretty good.
But he can't be nice when you come home? Fuck that guy.
He's awesome. Lou's awesome. It's the other one that sucks. All right, we'll be back with Polaris Rose.
Major Lazer blasting you the hits all day.
It's time for On the John with John Derby.
All right. I'd love to sit here and talk about how boring soccer is and how it's a sport for poor people, and the only reason it's the most popular sport in the world is because most of the world is poor and it's easy to have two ends in a ball. But that's not what we're talking about. This, in Brazil, this referee stabbing a player for arguing a call, horrendous. Like, we have bad enough things in this country with, like, Little League parents and semi-pro players freaking out and things like that. But even on an amateur level, for an official to stab a player to death is insane. But if that's not enough, what happened to the referee afterwards is civil unrest. He is quartered, which means pulled apart, arms, legs, left as a torso, and then they cut his head off and put it on a stick. Over amateur soccer. Professional soccer at its highest level is barely worth the cost of admission. And you're going to lose 2 lives over an amateur game? I love competition as much as anybody on the planet. I love to compete. I think it's a great thing, and I think everyone should do it on a level. But if you compete to a level that you get so worked up that you're willing to commit murder, then stop. Go play video games. Go get on the internet. I don't care what you do. Spend your time masturbating. It would be far more beneficial to the planet than murdering people over sports. Thank you.
Welcome back to aPODcalyptic Times. We're here with Polaris Rose, Peter Anthony Ewen, and Madelynn Elyse. Thank you so much for coming out.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
How are we doing today?
We're doing great.
I like that he thought about it. Yeah,
I like this guy.
It's like, I'm not just saying great. I'm trying to think, am I actually great?
I am great. Thank you.
And he gave me an extra long so I can cut it out.
Yeah, you can edit that. Yeah.
That's a keeper.
Keep that
Keeper
one. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us on.
So tell us a little about the band, where you guys are from, how you got together.
We're a duo.
Choose your words wisely.
We met. So the two of us met in Boston.
Okay.
We were both living out there. We were both doing our own individual bands.
Both from the East Coast originally?
No, I'm from Seattle.
Okay.
So
I'm from Colorado.
Well, that's
you
pretty
left
random.
Seattle to start a band? That seems weird.
Well, you think there's no music scene there.
Oh,
anymore.
it's all gone?
None. And I followed out this drummer kid who was going to Berkeley, and
unless you're Macklemore, let me just point that out. He's from Seattle.
Well, that's one.
Yeah, well.
The last man.
It was so we met because a mutual friend was playing a show, and we started just chatting. We started hanging out, and then we started writing songs together. And before you know it, we chose to move to LA and do this.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So Boston, how did you both end up there?
I went to school there.
Okay.
I went to Berkeley, and
There's a Berkeley in Boston.
Berkeley,
School of Music.
Blowing my mind.
It's Berkeley with the EE.
There's a ton of universities in Boston. Isn't it the biggest university town in?
Per capita, per student, there's more schools than any other city.
Right.
It's amazing.
And yet they all talk with that accent. That's weird.
You know what? You only hear the accent in Southie.
Right.
Yeah.
I know nothing of the...
not the university educated.
Yeah.
Not the university.
You pick it up over time, though. Pretty soon you're saying Boston.
Yeah.
You're saying coffee. I need to go get a coffee.
It has to seep in at some point.
It does.
And Peter, you just went out there for music, right?
Yeah.
You followed the guy who also went to Berkeley, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So I was just writing. I actually wrote an apocalyptic album out there.
Nice.
Which is what we're actually getting ready to record.
Beautiful.
But, yeah.
Beautiful.
So we were kind of doing that stuff out there, and then we moved out here.
What was your motivation? Was there anything in particular? I mean, we'll get to this later. But
Yeah, we can. Yeah, it was.
Should we wait on that?
It was the city. It was just living in that particular city.
Yeah.
Had like a real dark, greedy vibe to it.
As opposed to Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle's just rainy.
Pretty clean and
Yeah, well, it's lots of trees.
Right.
So you want to write songs about nature.
Very nice. And then from there, you moved to LA, or was there any stops in between?
Oh no, there was a stop in between. We moved to San Diego.
Oh, nice. Love San Diego.
I was gonna say, why did you leave?
I know.
There's like, for us, like doing rock music, there's like nothing.
Yeah, no, of course.
Did you guys get a raised up F-150 when you were down there? Some famous Stars and Straps stickers.
Pretty much.
we moved after like 3 months of living there.
That was enough. Yeah, I can see. San Diego is a great place to visit, but I don't know if I'd want to.
I would like to take all my riches and then just go to die in San Diego.
Yeah.
Like that would be my main.
Live on a hill somewhere.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It's one of those.
It's not a
towns.
great art scene there. is
No,
what you're
I
saying.
mean, I'm sure.
Great
there's-
place to like chill and relax and retire.
It's a good way to enjoy what you've done versus trying to do something. Like if you've already done something somewhere, that's a great place to go and reflect on that.
There's just not as much money to be made either. There's plenty of money there, but not as much money to be made by, or it's more old money, I guess.
It's definitely old money.
And there's a big military thing, and they're really
Definitely.
anti-pot smoking down there.
But it is a very fast-growing city. I think it's like the fastest-growing city in the country, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fromers.
Well, so I'm saying it could definitely
were also-
change in the next 10 years. Who knows what the fuck?
Nothing's going to change, Duarte. Nothing.
Not with Obama in office.
We were also in like Point Loma, and we kept getting broken into.
Oh, really?
Because of like the beach community there, our car was being broken into like weekly.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
it was just a lame.
Did you have a
situation.
Maserati or?
Had a
Jeep Cherokee.
Oh, that sucks.
I wish I had a Maserati. Maybe in my next life.
They didn't touch my Lambo. I don't know.
Yeah, the Lambo was fine. That's the weird thing. They just knew they could get into the Jeep.
They have a respect for the Lambo.
Yeah. So Los Angeles, how long you been here now?
2.5 years.
Yeah, you like it?
I love it.
Yeah, we love it.
It's a pretty good city.
It's
pretty
a
good.
great city.
There's a couple really hot days during the summer, but I can deal with that.
As long as you're
you
not
mean
in the
like right
valley.
now?
Right now is not bad. Like
In-
2 weeks ago,
in the
a week and a
aPODcalyptic
half.
studio?
No, that's just me emanating pure heat.
I tell you what, though, the heat here is never as bad as it is in like the Northeast or something. Because
Right.
generally it's freezing, but when it gets hot, it gets sweaty hot.
Right.
You're just like
100%
drained,
humidity,
you're melting.
That's why it's humid. It'll be temperature-wise, it'll get hotter here, but no humidity.
Oh yeah, and it's all about the humidity.
I can handle 120 if there's no humidity.
Right?
But like when you start getting humidity in there, I'm like, it's 75 and it's humid. I feel all chafed.
And obviously, like the music scene here is pretty awesome. There's so much going on.
There's
so many
definitely a
venues,
lot
right?
going on.
Yeah.
Especially out in Silver Lake.
Yeah.
You know, and then they have like the Sunset Music Festival, but then they have like the Cinema Film Festival that also has a music component to it, and then you have the Downtown Film Festival that also has a music component. So there's so much going on.
Well, and not every night. You know, there's
literally every night.
countless amount of venues that you can go
Yeah.
find a show, go to a show. You know, and there's the great thing is going to shows here is so amazing because it can be a big band at a little venue, which are always the best shows.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, and you can just be at a random place and somebody pops in, just like with anything like comedy, like to go to the Improv on a random Tuesday night. Sometimes you get world-renowned headliners just dropping by because it's the Improv. You know, it's like it's pretty amazing.
We went to Sound City at the Palladium, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
They could have sold out the bowl, but they chose to do it at the Palladium, so
Nice.
it was incredible. And then the Foo Fighters, not that I'm obsessed, but the Foo Fighters also played.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Also played the Troubadour a couple. I think it was a couple months ago, like a last-minute show. But it's the Troubadour.
Depeche Mode played the Troubadour 2
I
months
missed
ago
that.
too, and Rolling Stones played the Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Was it the
was
Echo
the
or
big one.
Echoplex?
It was the Echo.
Yeah.
No, it was the Echoplex. I think.
Echoplex, I think. Yeah, ridiculous.
Shut
20
down Twitter.
20
People
These are
went
two
nuts.
of the biggest bands in the history of music.
Just
and
playing a
they
little
play
spot,
in a little
yeah.
fucking spot.
Well,
and then Tom York just last week or a couple weeks ago did a show, like it was like the last minute like surprise show at some fucking, I don't even know what
Are you
it was.
talking about the band with Flea?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Adams for
it
Peace,
was
yeah.
100-person venue that they
wow,
played.
that's cool. Was that when Tom York was here and got stuck on Santa Monica College?
Yeah.
That's crazy. After that shooting, they were stuck on the college along with
the Boxer Rebellion.
Boxer Rebellion, right? Doing radio.
Yeah.
Oh, 'cause
Well, they were
there's a
doing
radio
KCRW.
station,
That's
okay.
right.
And it's all in the
They were doing Morning Becomes Eclectic.
So they couldn't get off. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So back to music. How do you describe your sound?
Alternative rock.
Okay.
You know.
What are your inspirations?
Fleetwood Mac.
He did that just long enough.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of the Smashing Pumpkins and Steely Dan and the Mars Volta and Jamiroquai and Michael Franks.
And he sucks.
Wow.
I listen to more like Fleetwood Mac, the Foo Fighters, the Chili Peppers. I love Alanis Morissette. I think she's a goddess. So yeah, we
You
kind
a fan of her acting? Do you like her acting?
You know what? I haven't seen her acting. I don't want to see her acting.
She's not bad.
She wasn't bad. Yeah.
She was good in Dogma when she played God.
Yeah, she was okay.
An actual goddess.
And then she was in Weeds a lot. I saw a lot of
She
her.
grew up
I didn't know she
as
was
a
in
musical
Weeds.
theater singer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me she can
Right,
act.
she can do it. Yeah, she does have some pretty good songs. We'll give her that.
Jagged Little Pill was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm hooked on it.
So anyone that's banged Ryan Reynolds is cool with me.
That's your number one prerequisite.
When I stand, I'm like, oh, you've been with Ryan Reynolds? You're cool.
Let's hang out.
I love it.
That's funny. All right, well, it's that time of the show. Let it get real quiet. So my question for you two is: you can take this in any order you like it. I'll ask Madelynn first. Okay. Madelynn, do you have a theory on the apocalypse? How's it happening?
Do I have a theory? What I would like to happen for the apocalypse, or when will it happen?
Did you not
We
hear
can
the
both.
question? It was.
You can start with how you want it. What
wanna
you
know
would
both.
like. What you
What
would
do
like
I-
to happen? Yeah.
We do multi-part questions here.
Exactly.
Multi-part. What I would love for the apocalypse to happen. Oh God, that's a good one.
You're pretending like you haven't thought about this. I know full
Oh my God,
well
he
that
just
you
asked
have.
me.
I know full well you have all these plans to tell them how you abandoned me and leave me for the zombies. So go ahead, tell them your intricate plans.
She's like,
Like
first
I
thing I'm
said-
doing, I'm skinning this dude alive.
No,
Zombies will be attracted. I'll be running free.
actually, I was gonna go to. I was gonna do the Walking Dead idea where Michonne cuts off Michonne cuts off her brother's arms and their jaw,
Yeah.
and then she can like disguise
With the chains
herself.
on, walks
Yeah.
around with
That's
them.
what you're gonna do to
That's
Peter?
what I'm gonna do.
Wait,
Peter.
hold on.
That sounds like your apocalypse.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
there won't even be an apocalypse. She'll just do it to me.
Yeah. That sounds like a relationship. Yep, I'm
Yeah,
in one of those.
I practically got both my arms cut off already.
I'm like, oh, you got to keep your arms? What a cool chick.
So yeah, that's my. I think it's gonna be very. Did you guys see World War Z yet?
No, I have not seen it yet.
It was actually really good.
I feel like there's definitely something that's gonna happen, and I feel like it's gonna be very similar to that, where will there be a cure? Who knows?
Well, you look at pharmaceutical companies and the way people are just
Oh, absolutely.
getting hooked on these drugs, and now it's getting to the point that like people can't even sue. You can't even sue the companies for these
I just
if
saw
there's
that.
side effects on
Because
these
they have
drugs.
so many disclaimers. It's like,
Well,
yeah.
it's insane. Like, so but it's a generic. So if you take a generic drug and it gives you terrible side effects and hurts you, you can't sue that company. You would have to go after the brand name company. But then it would be thrown out because
That's
you didn't
ridiculous,
actually
though.
eat that. You didn't even actually have
That's-
that pill. You know, it's insane. And then Monsanto, on top of that, they're feeding us these GMOs and all this shit food that's
Absolutely.
giving us cancer, and we're literally turning into zombies.
Literally.
It might be closer than we think.
It would be really cool.
So so the zombie apocalypse question, of course, is what's your favorite part of it? Do you want to kill? Is it because you are a
Oh,
killer?
hell yeah.
You're the killer. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
What's your weapon of choice?
Ooh. I would have 2 machetes, and I would have a bow and arrow.
I'm like, wait a minute.
All right.
Acid blood or no acid blood? Because that's going to impact what weapon choice I have.
But they have to be like 24-week later zombies, like the crazy out of control ones.
Right. Yeah, running at you.
Absolutely.
Full speed.
You can't get away.
That's tough.
You got to
That's tough.
stand and fight.
Although I think in that they're not actually zombies.
Yeah, they're not zombies.
It's more of a
Mutant
plague
rage. I
Or,
think
yeah,
they
it's
call it
rage.
rage.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Oh,
it is.
such a good movie.
So
That one was
that's your ideal apocalypse.
Yes.
What do you think will really happen? Do you have a more realistic one?
She's all disappointed.
As I just said,
discard
I know. Well, no, she said in the beginning she had 2. It's not me because I just said how close we are to the
He's
reality
like,
of that.
I know you've been thinking
That
about
is
that
my
all week.
realistic one.
She looked like she didn't get what she wanted for Christmas. She's like, oh, fine, no zombies, I guess. And skin sun will burn out.
I
Whatever.
just want a bow and arrow and I want to shoot zombies in the head.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think
Pretty
the
much.
most likely apocalypse that we'll see, if at all, is going to be asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
Because I actually read this one particular book, and I don't even remember the name of it anymore. It was about extinction on our planet and how we've had 5 mass extinctions.
Right.
And the most recent was the canine extinction, was the dinosaurs. And the prior to that was basically microbial life was just decimated by asteroid hits, supposedly.
Yeah.
I think that's honestly the most likely, because they say they can't actually watch all of space around us.
No, hell no.
Right.
We're not aware. I mean, it could just...
Well, even like remember when the one hit Russia not too long ago?
Yes.
It was
yeah.
we were watching. It was so crazy because we were watching one that was going to make this close pass between us and the moon.
Right.
And we're like, oh, this is so amazing, and then Russia gets hit with fucking another one. Like, holy shit! Like we have no idea.
And it didn't
It'll
even
come out
hit
of
the
nowhere.
ground.
But that's actually worse. If it doesn't hit the ground, it's
Really?
more. Yeah, it's more impactful.
Because it blew up in
Powerful.
the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Well,
It's more powerful, yeah.
It wasn't at the time wherever it hit. Like the epicenter was like 30 nuclear bombs or something like
Yeah,
that. It was
above
that
the
big of a
ground,
shake.
yeah.
And the only reason people got hurt is because they went to their windows and looked out, and everything shook so hard
and
it
it broke
shattered
the glasses. Yeah.
So they got rained on down by glass. Like,
Yeah,
I think
luckily it was in a rural area. You know, if it had hit in Moscow, there would have been fucking a million people dead.
Yeah, buildings would have been severely damaged.
look.
I mean, they say they say the canine extinction, like that particular asteroid was, I think they say the size of Texas.
Right.
And when they hit, it was intense enough and like strong enough to, you know, like with the mushroom cloud, it gets stopped by gravity, and so it like bubbles up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
They said that particular asteroid hit, and it was so powerful that it just shot up like magma into the into
and
outer
then the
space.
atmosphere is
And
fucked
there was
for
years.
a long
Years.
until
Centuries,
that's why it's a
probably.
mass extinction
Yeah.
over the whole Earth, not just
Yeah.
where it hit.
They
yeah.
say it wasn't necessarily the hit that killed off dinosaurs. It was
the blackout.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah, I was gonna
blackout.
say it's not even necessarily the impact; it's all the after effects that
Right.
really screwed
Well,
it.
and one of the crazy things, the only reason that we have evolved as life as we know it is because it's Jupiter, right? That Jupiter is so big and so massive that it attracts mostly everything that goes into our universe.
Yeah.
That with our moon by itself and
Into our
just
solar system?
Yeah, exactly. Within our solar system, but like just how everything has happened, we were really lucky.
Yeah, we are.
And they also think that Mars, there are some people that think that Mars, like half of the planet is a mile farther down than the other. So they think that Mars got hit with a ginormous asteroid and it
Gargantuan?
destroyed, an entire half of the planet. Which those are some of the people that also tell you there was a civilization on Mars, that they moved here before that. But I mean, if there was 5 mass extinctions, like that's going back a long time.
Yeah. Well, they say, I know they say there's definitely water on Mars. There's ice at least now.
I don't know if you've been seeing those pictures of the little objects they find on Mars.
I've been seeing those
Curiosity
pictures.
rover?
You're looking at them and you're like, what?
Like it looks like a rock, but one looked like a shoe.
Yeah.
It really looked like a shoe.
Wait, is
It looked
that
like
a
a Nike.
penis?
As far as I'm concerned, there's no life on Mars till there's a Mickey D's on that bitch.
It was the same with China. He's being consistent.
Yeah, right. I've said the same about every country, and I will say it about every planet.
Peter, so that's your realistic approach.
I think asteroids will probably be.
Okay.
If we experience anything like that, it's going to be asteroids.
And how do you want it to end?
How do you want
I was going to say, what are you going to do to her when the asteroid comes? You're losing your jaw and your arms. Like, what's going to happen?
See ya.
Human shield. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just.
That would be so tragic, though, if like a huge asteroid hit. Like, obviously, that area of the world would be just like gone.
And then a giant sinkhole.
And then if we're surrounded by darkness constantly, I think people generally are altruistic. They want to help each other, but ultimately
Not in
it's
that
going to be pretty
situation.
brutal.
Fend for yourself.
Oh no, I think so. I mean, like imagine it did hit Russia, and I know the U.S. would be affected. We'd probably be underwater right now. I'm just assuming.
Right.
But certain parts of the country would try to help each other and maintain.
I
We have
honestly-
a genetic disposition to save each other.
No, I honestly don't believe that the majority of the nation would want to help each other.
Don't you think we have a genetic disposition to survive
Yeah,
before
absolutely.
helping each other?
Oh, we
you
do.
know?
Yeah, I think we do.
It is, but there's both. And
Yeah,
the people
yeah.
that are
It's
trying to
to
kill
survive,
everybody else
yeah.
are louder than the people that are trying to
And to
help
keep your
everybody else.
nuclear immediate family around you alive.
I was gonna say,
So,
I think in smaller groups you're absolutely right, but I think in terms of a global scale, I think people would cut each other's throats for resources and for
absolutely.
shelter and
Yeah.
for like.
Like that was what I liked about The Walking Dead is that they created a group within each other.
But that's the part about what scares me about that show is to be like zombies are not enough to bring all the living people together. And they're just like, oh, well, we figured out enough to keep the zombies at bay, so we can go back to killing each other now. Like that's the craziest
That's 'cause
part
there's
to me.
always crazy people trying to get a power grab.
Always.
The only thing that's going to bring us together are aliens. If they're trying to kill us, then we got all band
What
together.
kind of aliens?
It totally does create a sense of other.
Well, I think the gray
Yeah.
aliens.
The gray ones?
Well,
they're
it's like
evil.
we all band together
And the
when there's-
reptilians.
in times of war.
Evil
Like,
ones.
Sure, yeah.
those they're the enemy. We got to be against them.
Well, I have a speech prepared for when that asteroid hits. It's Bill Pullman-like, so it's going to bring the entire world together.
I know. I actually wanted to watch that on the 4th.
4th of July.
I just wanted to watch Will Smith kick some alien ass.
You know, they said they're doing a sequel, but Will Smith is not. He's not in it.
Yeah, they don't need him.
Well, what's the
They
point?
don't need him.
Yeah.
Will Smith's
Well, I
not
think they're
in it.
going
Why-
to
what
Jeff
do-
Goldblum.
That's the
Do we need a
first.
sequel
That's
to
the
that?
first
Like-
apocalyptic movie that Will Smith has turned down. Ever.
Right?
No, did he turned down Django? Have you not heard that story?
I didn't.
No, I didn't.
He turned
Yeah,
down.
I knew that.
He was
Yeah.
supposed to be Django,
That's not apocalyptic.
and the
story,
reason no, it's not. But it
So
just
what are you
came-
talking about?
Because he said that Will Smith doesn't turn down a movie.
I said apocalyptic movies.
I just
Open up your ears.
You're lucky I heard anything he said. I don't even know he's in the room most of the
Good
time.
point.
Speaking
Good
of
point.
Will Smith, Peter Travers, you know, the film reviewer for Rolling Stone, just gave it like the worst movie review, After Earth.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
They said it was bad in a boring way. That sounds like pretty much the most awful review you could get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Bad
I don't
in
need
a
to see
boring
Will
way.
Smith and his son ever.
yeah. I'm good on that.
Oh, but they were adorable in Pursuit of what was it called?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness.
It was cute.
Yeah, but that was when the kid was cute. Now he's too
Now he's
old
like
now.
a 13-year-old kid.
In
yeah,
the
it's
awkward
bad.
stage. We don't want to see that on film. Nah.
So, Peter, when you wrote your Apocalypse, what's the name of the album you're working on?
Oh, Mechanical Clouds.
Okay, but originally you said it was originally it was titled Apocalypse, or is it Apocalypse themed?
It's apocalypse themed.
Interesting.
So it was about like there was a certain visual to it where it's like I wanted the album cover to depict this, where you're in a theater, and there's like a conductor at the very front, you know, where the conductor bit would be, and he's like furiously conducting the band, and then on stage you have all these humans with animal heads, and they're all shying away from something, and it's God coming down on the rafters, you know, the Deus Ex Machina.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was that he was something totally different than anything anyone ever predicted, like totally different than anything Christians predicted, Jews predicted, you know, any sort of end of the world thing is just totally different. And then the world ends, and what would people do after the fact? And it was actually more of like a sort of agnosticism sort of album,
Right.
talking about like,
Interesting. Well, how did you vision him depicted on the cover?
I actually had an artist work on it. It was like a 3-god head sort of weird. You know, it doesn't matter.
Right.
The idea is that it's
Just something
different.
completely abstract.
Something very different.
Is
yeah.
it weird that I'm picturing Bernie Mac? Is he saying that? I don't know why. No one ever pictured God as Bernie Mac.
I'd say,
oh shit!
Oh, people.
that's where
I like that. One.
That's great.
Bernie Mac apocalypse.
That reminds me a little bit of, like, there's an Arthur C. Clarke story about how the aliens come and they're parked for like 50 years and they get everybody to become like telekinetic, and there's world peace and all this stuff, and then they finally come down and it's like, it turns out that it's a devil looking being that was the alien all along. So it's like after we all came to world peace and everybody was happy and stuff, then we see like what had brought us there, and it's like the devil.
Oh wow!
Actually, you know, so it's a pretty cool story, but kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, but like, and that's that sounds like Kabbalah or a number of traditions where the whole idea of God is so non-understandable. It's like we couldn't even utter the words to possibly understand it. I like that. Oh, that's a great concept.
Yeah, I mean it's like uber pretentious too. Like I know that. I just read a lot of fiction, like science fiction stuff. So that was like the idea.
It's awesome. Real quick, how'd you guys come up with your name, Polaris Rose?
It's not a cool story. We had a we had a song called Polaris, which is just, you know, the North Star, and then we were trying to come up with a good band name. For a while we were called Kid Hollywood.
And before that, we were called Skinny Dip.
Skinny Dip was our name for a
while.
while.
Before that, it was Calypso.
And then for a brief time, we were
Well, at least it's getting better every time.
Yeah, right.
You're finding your way.
We liked Polaris Rose. Kind of, it sounded like two things. You could say like Polaris Rose, like the star rose in the sky.
Yeah.
Or like a Polaris Rose, almost like James Bondy kind of feeling, like Rose is the noun and Polaris is the adjective, that kind of thing.
Very cool. It's a great name.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And it's not too many syllables where you gotta mumble it out.
I had a conversation with my friend beforehand. He said good band names are 4 syllables long, 5 if you need it.
Right.
And I thought about that, and I was like, well, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but everyone calls them Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's interesting. It's crazy.
Foo Fighters.
No, it'd be Foo Fighters, or as Dave Grohl says, Foos.
The Foos. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
California's on my mind. With Hollywood walks and your cellulite. 'Cause in your days I find a certain truth. A perfect world where the sky is chartreuse. And when you sing, I know you're singing to me, serenading my cool nights with the traffic roar. And when you sing, I know you're singing to me, serenading my cool nights with the traffic roar. Hello Hollywood, you big star. No ingenue is as hot as you are. I hear your love is 100 proof. A perfect world where the sky is chartreuse. And when you sing, I know you're singing to me, serenading my cool nights with the traffic roar. And when you sing, I know you're singing to me, serenading my cool nights with the traffic roar. I think this city is asleep behind the wheel of a waking dream, a microcosm of a greater truth, a perfect world where the sky is chartreuse, chartreuse, chartreuse. Chartreuse, yeah, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh. And when you sing, I know you're singing to me, serenading my cool nights with the traffic roar. And when you sing, I know you're singing to me, serenading my cool nights with the traffic roar.
Welcome back to aPODcalyptic Times. That was Polaris Rose, Chartreuse. It's a great song. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
How'd you come up with this song? Any good stories behind this, or is it gonna be like the name of the band?
It's
Damn, what a subtle jab that
was. Hold on, let me just take this knife from my gut.
Yeah, right.
Well, it had 2 syllables.
It's a color.
It's a color.
It's a
no,
gross
just kidding.
color.
It's about like LA's aspiring culture, like how everybody is aspiring to be an artist.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's on the grind.
It was just about LA.
Nice, very cool.
We're being that band.
Oh, that's okay.
So
it's worked for others. I mean,
it's worked for the Chili Peppers for like 30 years.
See, Chili Peppers.
Count it up.
Red hot.
See, I call them Flea and the Peps. I don't know about you guys. You're just not on the scene, I guess.
That was the early incarnation.
John Derby, you got a question for Polaris Rose?
I do have a question for Polaris Rose. Am I assuming that neither of you are Jehovah's Witness? Is that an accurate assumption or inaccurate?
You know, assuming makes an ass out of you and me.
Well, I was an ass when I got here, so the assumption is not anything to do with that.
I am not a Jehovah's Witness.
The reason I ask that is, do you celebrate holidays? Are holidays a thing in your family? Do you?
Not Not really.
Not really.
Actually.
Birthdays?
Birthdays.
Christmas?
I mean, we drink on those days.
Okay.
Oh, true Americans.
Solemnly.
Yeah, right.
Then I'm
Solemnly,
okay.
yeah.
Then I'm gonna phrase this question, but if you need to adjust it to suit you, that's fine. Feel free to take some liberties.
And don't
here.
worry, he will have 6 parts to it.
I will have
so-
19 follow-ups, all of which better than David's one question.
That's probably
Because I'm never informed of what his question.
And then
his
he's
20
gonna-
questions are first.
He's gonna re-ask you whatever I just asked you, and it'll just be a less interesting version of that.
No,
so
no,
it's-
no. I'll ask what you asked last week.
So this is my question.
Yeah, that's exactly what you
What is your favorite either memory or present that you received on a holiday or birthday?
Ooh.
Yes. Well done. Not bad, right? I had to formulate that. But just something that caught you off guard, or like someone just took you out, had just a day that you couldn't imagine, like that sort of a thing.
What present was the most difficult to open?
the resounding follow-up question.
I'm stumped.
How are you stumped? Did you not have a childhood?
I didn't. I was robbed of a childhood.
So I was born,
Maybe-
I was 17, I don't know.
Maybe all of her gifts were equally as great as the ones before.
Well, that's cool. Good for her.
Or she didn't get any gifts at all.
I didn't get any gifts. I'm that child.
Burn.
She wasn't loved.
I wasn't loved.
It's a tough life.
For me, oh goodness, it would have to be my senior year in college.
Okay.
Peter wrote me a CD.
Oh, okay.
And it was the first time I've ever had a song written about me, and
Very
I got
cool.
a whole album about him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right. Did it have a name? Did the CD have a name?
Did you name it?
I called it Love Songs for Kids in College.
Nice.
Yeah, and it has some of my favorite songs that he's ever written on it.
Oh, very cool.
They're actually really terrible.
Excellent.
They are pretty bad.
So you said you were stumped, but that was a very nice thing to have.
Yeah, that's great.
I think my well, there was the
I made this CD for this girl. It's pretty cool.
It's funny because they're my worst songs ever.
I just phoned it in. I didn't even think about it.
She likes it.
Okay.
Well, I keep telling him he changes the name.
I was just gonna could have been for any girl, whatever. It worked on this one.
Any girl with 2-syllable name.
It's gonna stick eventually.
2 syllables. Yeah, that's right.
It's like I had a friend named Maddie. It just worked out.
Yeah, you guys are very syllabic.
I got a guitar when I was 18.
Okay.
Still have it. Still use it. I think that's probably
What was it for? Like birthday? What was it?
I bought it for myself. On
Bought
my
it for
first
yourself.
day,
So a
actually.
gift for yourself for
When I
your
turned
birthday.
18. Yeah.
First guitar you ever got? Or no?
No, it was the best guitar. It was a Strat. And
So now, was this a guitar that you would like? You saw it and you wanted that one in particular, or
Yeah.
you just knew you wanted a guitar? Like,
It was like
give me something about it.
Midnight Purple.
Ooh, hell yeah!
American?
Mexican.
Oh,
I love-
Mexican.
Yeah, that's right.
Very Prince.
Was it all your own money? Was it all your own money, or was it at least gift
Yeah,
money?
I spent like I want to say $480.
Did you get some job to get it or something? Did you already have a job?
I had no job. I don't know how I got that money. I don't really have any recollection.
What you do on the streets is your business, man.
I think it was more like yard work for grandma.
Turning tricks, call it whatever you want.
Or for grandma. You know, I cut out the back. You know, the single coil in the very back. Put in like a Duncan humbucker or something like that.
Oh man, I got a Duncan humbucker in college.
First time, and that was the last present I've ever received.
John,
Nobody's loved you.
Hey, John, do you still talk to that dude?
No.
The Duncan humbucker.
No. When someone gives you a Duncan humbucker, like that's the end of your relationship.
That's it. It's a one-off. That's a one-off.
John Derby, what's your favorite gift you've ever gotten? Just that terrible question.
I didn't think that was terrible.
But it was a good
Trying to
question.
tap into their childhood. I've got two. One Christmas, I got a bike that I didn't expect to get. I didn't ask for it. And so I got it. I came out and I saw a bike in the living room. I was like, oh, and I pretended to faint. And they thought that was very funny. And then I think my favorite thing ever was, I don't remember how old I was. Probably right before teen. Still probably like 12, give or take. And I had asked for the original Sega Master System. Because I never had my own system. I always shared systems with my brothers and shit.
Right.
So I wanted my own video game system because I was an adult, obviously.
I'm really growing up.
And my mom was just kind of like, she just kept stonewalling me like, yeah, it's not going to happen. It's like, and I was so like, I was just like, that's the only thing I want. Like, how can I not be getting that? And then, sure as shit, Donna June stepped up big time.
Thanks, Donna June.
Oh, I was stoked. I just remember the first rip of that paper, and then I think I saw Master Sis, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Did you faint?
No. I had people over. I had to be for sure.
Gotta keep my shit together. This time.
That was the shit.
Nice.
What was the game that you got with it?
Well, it came built in with Alex Kidd in Miracle World.
Oh, I don't remember
It's some weird. It's some very super generic Mario. It's
sold
some
it
little
bit,
kid with a big head.
I
And
had
then
Black Belt with
Altered
that
Beast. Altered Beast was like the first game I got.
That was good.
You remember that one?
Well, I played Golden Axe later. Wasn't it the same thing?
Similar. I think Altered Beast came afterwards. But you start off as like some skinny dude, and then you get buff, and then you get super buff, and then you turn into like a beast, some lion or dragon or whatever,
Turn into one of
a
those
bear.
things that was on the cover of
Yes,
Peter's album.
That's right.
On the cover of Mechanical Cloud.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, remember the name?
Yeah.
Good.
I listen.
He's sharp.
Shit.
Duarte, you got a question?
Yes. What each of you? Different answers, I'm hoping. But favorite album all time?
Go. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness.
Oh, a double album! Wow.
I want to get that. You guys know the cover with the girl and the star.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
I thought you were going to say I
You
want to
and-
shoot. I want
you
to
and
shoot
Billy
up heroin.
Corgan.
Yeah, I want to do
While
that.
listening to
I want to
that
do that
album.
too.
I wish you had turned around and showed me the crack of your ass. I'm getting that right there, man.
Tramp stamp. Here we go.
Exactly.
Why is that one your favorite? Like,
It's so diverse, but I think it still has a lot of overall motifs and themes that are consistent throughout the whole album. I love that he has like the song "Lily, My One and Only" is like an old 1920 song, and then you have like songs like "Jelly Belly," which are just balls to the wall, like old chops. I love it.
it's a more mature album than the previous
Siamese Dream.
album. Yeah, Siamese Dream is probably like one of the more influential records of the 90s, I would think.
I think those two are like probably the most impactful records.
Yeah, and when you talk to musicians, like overall, like Smashing Pumpkins don't get nearly as much credit as like Nirvana. And
do they still make music, Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah, they do. They came out with Oceana.
I knew they split for a while and then got back together, right?
Their new record is phenomenal.
And he self-released it is why it didn't get as much.
And it's always a
right?
different lineup, so people don't like give him as much credit. It's always been Billy Corgan,
right?
Yeah.
It's always been Billy Corgan. He's the band. It's like Nine Inch Nails. It's Trent Reznor,
right? With whoever he brings, yeah.
Right.
Their new record's totally worth listening to. I mean, like,
oh, absolutely.
And he's working with this girl actually here out of LA, Nicole, and she's the best bass player he's ever worked with. It's really cool to hear her stuff.
But yeah, I didn't get.
And
this
the drummer
didn't get nearly the publicity.
Kid.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah,
so sick.
They played. I saw them last year, and they played the whole new album all the way through.
Yeah, Oceana.
And then they started playing the hits.
Yeah.
I hate talented youth. Someone says someone's 19 and really good at something, I want to be like, fuck you.
It's jealous.
You haven't suffered enough to be good at shit.
It's impossible.
What, your parents nurtured you? Fuck you.
Yeah, seriously. Ugh.
Kid's got to have thick skin though, like, because he's a kid, and then he's talented, but he's never gonna live up to that expectation of like, you need to be as good as Jimmy Chamberlain, their old drummer. So he's got a lot of shit for it.
Well,
you look on YouTube.
He needs to do a lot more heroin first.
He does need to. I mean, that's
come on.
Feedback.
Well, that's the problem with being that famous that young too.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, obviously, that's a pretty good role model to have as Billy Corgan. That guy's got his head on straight at this point in his life. It's not
for sure.
But who knows? I mean,
if you watch, like, I've watched a few video interviews with the kid drummer Mike Byrne. He's totally straight. He's really like, down to earth. Yeah,
nice
for sure.
It's good to hear. Madelynn, you got a.
For me, it was Jagged Little Pill. That album probably spoke the most to me growing up. In college, for me, it was.
Why? Did you go down on some dude in the theater?
How did you know?
I was going to say, Peter, don't dump her, dude. Don't ever break up with her.
She was young.
Oh, the theater?
Shit. She'll go quadruple platinum on you.
You know what I hated, though? I hated when she re-released it through Starbucks a couple years ago. I thought that was the worst mistake ever. It was so cheesy.
The old Starbucks release.
When you say re-released, what changed things about it, or just
Not
released it
really.
under like the Starbucks label?
Did she do like a remaster?
She remastered it and changed some of the things with it,
But remasters are like
Did they call
kind
it
of silly that they charge you the same price that they charged you the first time
around, right?
It's like,
Did they
wait a
call it
minute,
I'm like, for a less soulful version of the first one.
Took a half an hour of some producer's time.
Well, come on, Polaris Rose. In 15 years after your first album blows up, Starbucks wants you to re-release it for $13 million. How much did she get?
Oh, I don't know, but I wouldn't do it on Starbucks.
Right.
I'll tell you right now.
You'd go coffee bean and tea leaf.
Absolutely.
Yes, I am addicted.
Pete's coffee.
No, I'm a Pete's girl.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say coffee bean is actually superior coffee, but
Well, yeah, everybody knows that. It's not need to be said.
the older I get, the less I look down on selling out. Because I'm like, man, it's like I would love for people to keep artistic integrity, but if you're sitting there at 40 years old and someone's like, here's a few $1 million to just do nothing.
It depends. It depends on the company.
I mean,
I think if you have some power, you need to be conscious of what that company's.
I really have a take on that too. I think that I imagine we all kind of grew up around the same time. Right?
Sure.
And for us, the idea of selling out was an important thing. I read something recently where they talked about kids. Kids nowadays expect music to be free.
Yeah.
And they don't really care. They understand that you need to make money
They
elsewhere.
don't care.
It's not a big social stigma like we had. Like now,
Right.
back in the day, like if somebody did a Visa commercial, it'd be like,
Yeah.
"Whoa,
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But
You
nowadays,
would question their
if you
artistic
do-
integrity.
If
but
you do it, you're like, oh, good for you, man. You got a Visa commercial.
Well,
oh, he's so funny in that Visa commercial.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
yeah.
And
Well,
the only way
especially
you
for
can-
music, like you
get an Apple commercial,
like the
you're
first-
blow up. You know.
Yeah, like if Radiohead was in '95 was to do a Visa commercial, like everybody.
Oh,
was like,
no
what
way.
the
Oh,
fuck?
they would turn their back
Fuck
on
you.
him. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like,
Absolutely.
would you
But
rather
now
be?
it's like,
It's very different.
Well, it's like Fugazi versus, Fugazi will never sell out, but will they ever make it big? No. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not going to happen. If it's, it's
But
not
they
gonna
also
happen.
come from a different time,
Yeah.
though,
I think-
where
yeah.
they can make a living doing what they're doing.
But it took blood, sweat, and tears for years and years and years to even get to that
But
point.
that's punk rock, man.
That's punk
It
rock.
seems like
That's
people
punk rock.
people are just aware enough of the struggle of the artist, so to say,
Yeah.
that they know that we got to make some money somewhere, and it's not happening through record sales.
I think
And
people.
they
I think.
know that
I
now.
think if people respect the artist, they're willing to just turn the eye to being like,
Yeah.
you know what? Like, you got to eat
But I would
too.
say
like,
I've seen like a lot of '90s bands try to do that, and that stigma still applies to them.
Right.
Not to
Yeah.
new bands. Like I could, if I sold my
Same
song to a
fan base.
Toyota commercial, good for you, Pete.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if like Billy
you went
Corgan
back-
does
I was gonna say, I
like,
still
no
get pissed
way.
when I hear Led Zeppelin selling trucks. It's like, come on,
Yeah.
really?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, if you have the power, like, you shouldn't put your song to something of maybe a
even
bad
like
company. You should at least
like
have
U2
some
does
choice.
that a lot too. Like they partner up with somebody, and it's like, oh, really? You guys are the biggest fucking band in the world already,
Right, you need
really
to make
need
money
that?
out of this. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I still love them. I think they're.
Well,
a great
it's like
band,
when a
but-
crazy, when a famous actor has a voiceover commercial, and you're like, really? Why not give this job to some dude? who
yeah,
needs
someone
it?
who's starving.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause
But
there's-
come on, dude. Morgan Freeman's voice. You want to hear
butter.
that.
I never wanted a Cadillac until I heard John Hamm tell
Do
me
you
I wanted
think-
a Cadillac.
That's true.
Do you guys feel like it's changed now? This sounds because of our economy and how we think about attaining money nowadays, as opposed to back then, where it was like you're already making money through record sales. Like, why?
It seemed more like greed back then.
It
I
seemed
feel
like
yeah.
greed. Nowadays
Now it
it's-
seems more like survival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think so? What do you think?
I think there could be a perception for that. Like, I don't know if that's the reality of it, but I could see justifying it that way. Sure.
And I don't think that people, like, the mainstream thinks that you're a real band or you have your shit together unless they hear it through a major distribution
Right.
channel like that. And that's,
Oh, yeah.
it's a distribution channel as much as it anything else. Because, like, there's so many songs you've heard and you're like, I kind of like this song, but why? Oh, because I heard it on that stupid commercial
Yeah.
300 times. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Passion Pit was a band, the indie band that
Yeah, one of
blew
those
up
songs,
because
yeah.
they had like a couple songs in commercials.
Well, like, I don't
a
like-
Mitsubishi commercial. They had a fucking.
I heard that Imagine
Huge
Dragons
hit out of
album
that.
and I didn't like it, and then I heard like that song over and over and over on that commercial, and you're like, now you
And
hear
then
that
you
song,
bought
and you're
the
like,
album.
and then you're like, oh, that song's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I still
yeah.
don't like. I'm not big on the band, but like, but that's one of. It's just like you can't even escape it sometimes because they're so powerful. And you think about like Feist with that Apple commercial. That's epic. It's like that's like one of the most epic music videos I've ever seen. It was for a fucking iPod. It's like,
Yeah.
it's sad. I mean, it's not sad. I'm such a non-sellout guy, but I mean, I can't blame anybody.
See, I don't think you're selling out regardless as long as you're making the music that you want to make.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a musician, like if you're making the music and the art that you want to make,
So the
it
one
really
the
doesn't
1, 2,
matter
3
how you
free
get it
credit
out
report, freecreditreport.com guys, not a good band.
there. No, that guy's
I think as
fucking
long as
really
you're not-
good, actually.
That's a genius. Yeah.
I feel like it's a matter of compromising your ideals. As long as you're not
Yeah.
compromising what you believe in. If I'm singing songs about world peace and then I like have like an oil company,
right? Or
running
you're,
my jam.
Right. Yeah, you're doing a commercial for Monsanto.
Yeah, right.
But then, like, take someone like Steven Tyler, who did what was it, American Idol?
Yeah.
Whose band was a rock and roll band from when did they start? Late 80s, early 80s?
No, early
70s. Yeah.
He was actually
been around
a
a long
roadie
time.
for Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, seriously? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then Aerosmith started 73, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about
You
right.
just walked into the Aerosmith pit.
Yeah, they're like,
these guys know they're Aerosmith. Bad choice.
yeah,
Bad choice.
No, but he was just on American Idol.
No, but yeah, he's a complete joke now.
Right. I was gonna say I didn't know Aerosmith until Permanent Vacation, and then I was like, oh, they had a gang of albums before that. Like
that was their comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah, they were already on their
got
second leg come
Yeah.
Permanent Vacation.
Yeah,
and then
but they got way bigger than their second
right.
leg. Once
And then
they
Pump
kicked-
was huge after Permanent
Yeah,
Vacation.
yeah.
Whoa, that was Aerosmith.
And they get a grip was even huger than Pump. Once they got Alicia Silverstone in their videos, it was over.
He's got a gun.
Yeah,
that was a good song.
Yeah.
Still a good song.
I heard that on the radio the other day. Good song.
Still a good song.
How'd she do that thing with the belly button ring?
Dude looks like a lady. Come on, man.
Love in an Elevator? Come on.
Well, the
They
Run
definitely did
DMC
great.
song too. Was that all the same album? With the one with Run DMC?
No, I think that was earlier.
No, Walk This Way was
This Way, that's
Permanent Vacation, wasn't it? I think that one was on Permanent Vacation.
Well, Walk This Way was from the 70s. That was an old school song. And
Right,
then
no, but
Run DMC
the version they
it.
did with Run
That wasn't
DMC.
on their
They didn't
album.
do
That
it?
was on Run DMC.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's enough. Back to Polaris Rose.
Janie's Got a Gun was a good song.
What do you guys think about the state of the world right now? What do you think about? Have you heard? You guys familiar with Egypt? Everything that's going on in Egypt right now. The military
Yeah, the
overthrew.
coup.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a coup.
Yeah,
The NSA wiretapping. We're losing all our civil liberties. I mean, I don't feel anything directly, really, but you hear these stories, and it's like, I don't know what's going on. It's crazy.
I generally feel very uninformed. I used to, when I was younger in college, and
I like this guy.
Full of, full of hot air and stuff like that. I watched a few documentaries, and I was like, this is what's going on in the world.
Right.
And now I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I write songs.
Yeah. Right. Well, because you have to. It's hard to. If you want to stay up on it, you have to constantly be looking at it.
Right.
You have to know where to find it, too.
And then it can put you in a bad place. It can put you in a really bad place.
Because the misinformation is
anything.
rampant.
Well, yeah, if you're watching CNN and Fox News,
mainstream media is bought and paid for by the companies that are doing all the same things. Yeah.
You can kind of watch that just for a few minutes to gather what's going on, and then go look it up on the internet.
Yeah,
and
see
really find out what the truth
what's
is.
bullshit, what's real. Yeah.
And I get most of my news from the BBC. Which
That's
I consider
better.
more reliable than
It
Fox.
It's a little more
CNN.
honest.
Yeah. Well, at least about American affairs. A lot of international, they're not,
Oh, yeah,
not
they
so
always-
honest about their own, but they'll be
Sure.
honest about ours.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I
which
don't-
is cool.
Same with RT, right?
RT is totally that way. Yeah. Anything they say about Russia, don't believe it, but they'll tell you the truth about America.
Well, my feeling is so these are all major corporations with their own kind of personal agendas, and they're providing me with my news. Okay? But, then again, if they weren't major corporations providing me with news, I would also feel a little distrustful. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, and it's also subjective anyway.
You take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
It's like there's, it's like have common sense and understand at least the point, and then you can probably go find out the more information on your own. Because there's not a single news network that's going to tell you the whole unadulterated truth. Like, there's none of them are.
well, the truth is such a strange thing.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's true.
You don't think Bill O'Reilly is telling the 100% truth?
Whoa! Don't you
Bill O'Reilly is
dare
the
bring
truth.
Bo
He
into
is
this.
So, when you're writing songs now, what's your thing that you've been thinking about going through?
I guess I could say personally that a few years ago I used to think a lot about perspective and how that affects people's reality, but nowadays I think a lot about expectations and how much just in our daily lives what we expect and how it influences the way that we react to things. We have jobs outside of music, obviously, and a lot of times when I'm interacting with somebody and they have a certain expectation about how a certain transaction or whatever is going to go, it'll severely it could create a really bad situation right away.
Right.
How I might expect something to happen will cause me to react a certain way. Back me up, Maddie. Help me.
That was a hard question. I'm sorry. It's like, it wasn't really...
We talk a lot about what's going on in our lives and the challenges and obstacles that we're facing.
Yeah.
And then we kind of listen to different songs and pull ideas from different areas. YouTube's our friend. I always find new artists on YouTube.
Yeah.
And new ideas, and then I'll bring them to Peter, and Peter will be like, "No, that's stupid." But yeah, that's we kind of just pull from our own life experiences and the challenges, you know.
Do you guys both write?
I don't really write. Peter does most of the writing.
Okay.
I kind of just tell him if it's stupid or not.
Right. It's the sounding board.
Yeah. But it's like how constructive. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid, less stupid, but still.
You know, listen to this band I found on YouTube. That's what you need to sound like.
Do more like what they're doing.
Yeah.
I have no
There's
idea.
a reason I found them. And
This sounds constructive. I like your writing process.
No, it's like, but you know, nothing's in a vacuum. So like, we spend a lot of time together.
Sure.
And that just creates a constant
tension.
Hatred. Constant
you
feedback
know?
where you're just kind of constantly reacting or like engaging with ideas. Tension, yeah.
Very cool.
That's a great word.
Well, it's about that time. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I guess I would say, I think you were kind of asking about like the state of the world or just the way things are and how it influences our music. And, you know, we do tend to write a lot of songs about those sort of abstract things, but because I feel so uninformed, I tend to talk more about how I feel about my relationship to art or just my relationship to growing older and things like that.
Right. No, yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And honestly, like I get so overwhelmed by just delving myself into the news and all this shit out there. Like watching YouTube videos about people making advancements in technology and just people being creative is so amazing that sometimes I have to like shock myself out of looking into the news and current events and shit, because
the thing about the news,
it's so depressing.
All they show you is just the negative shit that's going on.
Just thinking the same thing. They just pound you with the negative, and but then you don't hear about all the miraculous things happening.
Yeah. Every day there's a ton of shit out there that is miraculous.
Absolutely,
It's completely.
That's why I've turned to Bigfoot. That's all I can believe in anymore is Bigfoot.
And look at where that got you.
Yeah. Who needs a camera? I needed to upgrade anyway. He was right. Thanks, Bigfoot.
You did get an amazing shot of Bigfoot, though.
I did.
Right before that.
Kicking water into my face.
Right.
Where can we guys find you? Where's the best place to find you?
PolarisRose.com.
Awesome. Very cool. And an album coming up?
September.
It's
an EP.
Nice.
4 songs. 2 of the songs that we're playing tonight.
Very nice. Very nice. And we are playing out to...
Dreamers.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
A bolt of starlight across the sky. Can hardly see it through the city lights. I can get blinded here, it's true. That's why I'm lucky to have you. 'Cause you keep me true. No, the dreamers are trying to wake up, and the fighters are trying to take it on. You can have it all, baby, but you know it's still not enough. So live your life for love. Live your life for love. We paint the shimmers on the waves. We wear acrylic smiles to our graves. We are the dreamers of this world, and still the stars, they will shine through, and they'll speak to you. No, the dreamers are trying to wake up, and the fighters are trying to tear it down. kaleidoscope of colors, adjust them into frames. The chaos and the lovers, all intertwined in shame. The attitude around us, we hold our breath for days. Maybe we won't survive this, maybe we'll just sing.
No, the dreamers are trying to wake up, and the fires are trying to take a pulse. You can have it all, baby, but you know it's still not enough. So live your life. No, the dreamers are trying to wake up, and the fires are trying to take a pulse. You can have it all, baby, but you know it's still not enough. So live your life for love. Live your life for love. Live your life for love. Thank you.
Bienvenidos a Tiempos Apocalípticos.
This is a song from that record we're working on, the apocalyptic one. It's called The End of All Things, which I might note is a Lord of the Rings reference. Thank you very much. Nerd. One, two, rego. When it happened, it was strange. The orchestra was silent, they were amazed. For when the end came, it was soft as the rain, falling on the city. We were fools to think we understood. Stay inside and listen for the rain. Stay inside and listen for the rain. Does this mean that we have failed to set aside the instincts under our scales? Or did we cling to dogma tooth and nail? Do we really need a reason? We were fools to think we understood. Stay inside and listen for the rain. Stay inside and listen for the rain. You've got to hide from the world and those leering eyes. And when the end came, it sounded just like this. So faith chained to me, focus on the sun. We knew all along, yeah. And we will hide from ourselves
numb ourselves from the world.